What's going on YouTube and y'all squad? This your boy Yakutis. This is your review for Love and Marriage DC Season 2 Episode 2. I want to start off by saying I think the intro they are doing way too much. But I just want to throw that out there. Also, I want to say I don't know how I'm going to feel about this season cuz I really do feel that whenever we talk about the Jamie Jr. and the Jamie Sr. situation that I'm sorry. I'm just yeah. It's just gonna be one of those where I'm sorry. I picked a side, so I'm just letting y'all know we just gonna have to thug it out. We gonna make it do what it do. So we pick up where we left off. So you have one of the producers telling Jamie Jr. To talk to his father. Now the way that this all seemed, because there wasn't already a camera crew out there, this leads me to believe he wasn't trying to film a scene. Like he was just either leaving or trying to calm himself down, like really to center himself. So it seems as if to me that the producers were trying to continue this scene, continue from what just happened on the balcony. I'm gonna blame this on the producers. And Jamie Sear crouches down and says, he is so stuck in this world. And what was getting me is you clearly and visibly see your son is hurting, rather than trying to understand and show some empathy, like, okay, son, talk to me. What's going on? What's in your head right now? You want to sit here and cast judgment saying he's so in this world. Now I'm guessing in the process his hand was close to Junior's face, and Junior says, get your hand out of my face. Now again, this is one of those things where I feel with Jamie Sr., he looks for a reason to have to pop it off. Just like when they were on the balcony, he was like, fool. He was like, oh, so I'm a fool now. And that was all he needed to sit here and go down that rabbit hole. And all this man said was, get your hand out of my face. Yes, he said it with a tone, but clearly you see that he is in a vulnerable state right now. He is trying to process stuff, and now you are in his personal space, and now you have your hand again. I didn't see if his hand was in his face, but he said it was. It is what it is. And then Senior sternly said, "Stop playing with me in front of these people." Another thing, because y'all gotta pay attention to what people say, the things that people say, because sometimes it's what they say and it isn't what they're saying. His thing is, stop playing with me. Not stop playing with me, period, but in front of these people. He's a part of that group where everything is all about perception. And again, with him being a police officer and that not being disclosed on the show until he hit retirement, but apparently it came out, after the reunion or whatever, everything is all about the appearances. It's nothing but a circus show where we're gonna sit here, we're gonna put these masks on, and we're gonna portray this image of ourselves to everyone else, and nothing different. Literally, that's what I get from him. And Junior is saying stop playing. No, I'm sorry, I said that, and that was actually Senior. Oh wait. Oh no, he said stop playing in front of people. So Junior says stop playing in front of these cameras. So now it went from Senior saying stop playing with me in front of these people, and now you got Junior saying stop playing in front of these cameras, leading us to believe, okay, his father's putting on because these cameras are here. Almost like when some people put on because there's liquid courage. So then Senior's like, what you gonna do? And this is one of those where, regardless of what happens, it's only gonna go up from here. Like there really is no bringing it back down, especially when there's nobody that is willing to do it, and everybody is on one side, because it's clear everybody was on Senior's side. Nobody was really caring about the mental and the emotional state of Junior. It was, you need to understand where I'm jumping ahead. Anyway, Junior gets up and then he puts distance between them. And then Senior, again, Junior then got up, and because it looked like he was getting up to do something, but he got up and he walked the other direction. You have Senior where he still is running off at the mouth and said he is faking in front of these cameras. And I think that might have been the trigger, because that would have been the trigger for me. Like, I'm faking in front of the cameras, because again, the cameras were not out there when Jamie Jr. was, having his moment. It was just the producer that more than likely followed him out there trying to continue a conversation and possibly trying to get him to go back in there to continue the scene. Again, I'm blaming production. So then Junior snatches away from his mom and yells at him, "What you gonna do?" Again, emotion levels are extremely high. So one of the producers, the male producer, takes Senior towards the elevators and reminds him, like, dude, it was one of those, look where you at. This ain't what you came here for. This is your other son's, party. Like, trying to, like, hey, you doing too much. Bring it back down. And then Arena is telling Junior, you're not going to fight your father. And it's like, to me, it's you're focusing on, because here's the reality: the whole him not gonna fight his father, he ain't popped that off. Your husband did. But rather than go and reprimand your husband, what you're going to do is you're going to go for the easier target, which for most people is a child or their children. Because for most parents, their children are easily manipulable, can be easily manipulated or told to do something, and by virtue of this hierarchy that we're supposed to fall into, okay, because I'm being told this by my parent, I just need to do it. But you're not looking like, okay, my son is clearly hurt. Let me try to talk, because he's trying to explain how they got there. She ain't trying to hear it. She's just trying to get him to just calm it down. And I wrote here that she wasn't trying to understand him, but wants him to understand her. Just said that. And then she says he takes things out on the family. She's saying that in the confessional. No, I'm sorry. No. She says this directly to him. Says that you take stuff out on the family, and Junior's like, no, I don't. Irene says, but you shut us out. He's like, I shut the world out. Where this isn't personal, something. But see, here's another thing. He just says that he shuts the world out. That again, listen to what people say. So if he's shutting the world out, what is the stressor? What is causing him to want to shut down and not let anybody in? There is other factors there. And it is so crazy that their child is literally screaming out for help. And it's like they just ain't seeing it. And I think, and if I didn't say it in last week's review, I did say it in the comments, like, obviously he needs therapy. He needs to talk to somebody that is licensed. I'm sorry, I can just relate to some of this. That's why I'm a little bit, So, and then Arena tells him, you don't do that because we're family. What the hell does family have to do with anything? But again, that okay. And a lot of this stuff is just band-aids. So Cliff comes out, he goes over there, he's talking to, Senior. Quick comes out and he's talking to Junior, and Junior and I were here because Junior's whole thing is, he said in the confessional though, because he was being respectful of Quick, but it's like, I don't need this right now because it's literally just like Quick, one, trying to tell him what it is to be a man, which I don't like those conversations, especially given the fact that at not one point did you ask this man, hey, what's going on? Talk to me. Walk me through it. It's just you trying to tell him something because he needs to understand something from your vantage point. I'm telling you, all of this is weighing heavy on that young. Irena go mention it next week, so I'm gonna just wait till next week. Um, Junior says to him the conversation he had with his father, literally it was going from one topic to another topic to another topic, meaning they were never able to stay on because it just kept jumping, so we were never going to get anywhere, and he was absolutely right, and that's what happened. So that's the end of that. So now we get Winter. She is no longer a Williams. Her name is back to Harris. Kevin has signed the papers. She's in the studio. Her friend Sherelle stops by, the producer that is helping her with this song called Gutter Barbies. That producer is the husband to Sherelle. She says Gutter Barbie is meant to be positive and it can mean anything. And I'm just looking at Winter like, ma'am, you're playing producer. Not only are you trying to create this scene, but you are creating scenes and a storyline so you can sit here and actually be a full-time cast member. I see what you're doing. And lie, look, play with everybody else. Don't play with me. I know what you're doing. So Sherelle says, she's going to Ashley's event and she's going to tell her about this song because of the optics. And this is one of those things where I'm kind of about, because for her to Because in my mind, if you go back and you tell Ashley, I'm one of them people where if you come back and you tell me what somebody said or what somebody else is doing, the first thing I'm gonna ask you is, so what did you say? So what came out of your mouth? So you just said idly by. Like if I know somebody is there and some stuff is being said, I'm gonna feel away. But as long as you not taking the bone and carrying the bone and all the other stuff, I'm gonna be cool with it. I'm a side eye you, but I'm be like, okay, whatever. But she wants to bring it to her, which leads me to believe that she wants to have a position on this show. But I'm gonna say that Sherelle proved me wrong, but I don't think that she's going to. Winner says she's already apologized, so the ball is in their court. Somewhat. And even with the last apology, that really wasn't an apology. It was, and I feel I should apologize. She said something along those lines. It was never, I'm sorry. It's, I feel that I should apologize. Two totally separate things, but again, semantics. Um, Sherelle said, husbands and kids, can make a conversation go left, and this is more or less in relation to Arena and the DM that Winter has sent her that involves her child and husband, all that other stuff. And Winter says she's reached out to Arena because somebody sent her some stuff about her child. So Winter felt, okay, I got this information. Let me let her know that this information is out there. Sherelle is trying to coach Winter in terms of a proper approach, but she feels she's in a compromising position, and you're really only in a compromising position because you're putting yourself in that compromising position. Now, if it came up that you were present when all this was going on, all you had to do was just say, "Look, this is what this is." Yes, that was said. But I felt that if I brought this back to you, then that makes me messy because it looks like I'm going between two people, and that's not what I'm trying to do. She didn't say nothing disrespectful about you. She just said she was doing the song, blah, 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 blah. It's the way you gotta play that stuff, but whatever. She needs camera time, so we're gonna move it along. Ashley is her re-release. I'm sorry, is her release week for her book. She's on a Be More lifestyle show, pushing the book. The host asked Ashley about the Samuels rumor. Ashley was visibly disturbed. I would have been too, because if I'm here pumping my stuff, then hey, let's focus on me. But you just have to learn how to pivot and turn it back and refocus it on you. So we get Irena and Jamie. So they're packing slash moving boxes, I believe, for their son. Don't really remember. The two recap the night before, and in the moment, they're having this united front on how they remember stuff and what everything was. But Irena feels that, Junior might harm himself, because of everything that he's going through. And I'm sitting here like, the fact that you see the signs, but the reality is the signs were there a long time ago. I just don't know how you missed them. But at least she's being somewhat aware of what is going on with her child. And says to Senior that he needs to stop yelling at him. Thank you for saying it. Thank you for saying it. And that he needs to make things right. And Senior wants to know, okay, well, what do I need to do? Which is kind of like, I appreciate a husband and wife having a conversation, but if you at your big age don't know what you need to do to sit here and rectify a situation with your child, something is wrong. But hey, we all need advice, right? Right. And she pretty much says that you need to talk to somebody that you don't know, that don't know your son, that don't know the situation, that is neutral, where you can talk to them, and maybe a therapist provides you with some insight. Because when you go to your friends, or you go to the pastor, the reverend, the bishop, the deacon, the cardinal, the rabbi, when you go to somebody that knows you, more often than not, their advice is going to be skewed because they already have a understanding of what your situation may be, rather than someone who just doesn't know. Moving on, we get Ashley and Alicia, her friend. They're packaging up VIP bundles, which look really nice. I'm not gonna lie. And she says that her book is not only on Amazon but will be in Barnes and Nobles, and that's a good look. Get your money. Her sister wants to talk to her about how her mom is going to respond to the book, because in the book, Ashley does talk about how her mother left her by herself at 16, went and moved in with whatever dude she was with at the time, forcing her to have to grow up much faster. And and that's what her mother would feel away about. But and Ashley's just kind of like, well, it is what it is, and I can't not tell it. But one thing that people have to remember is you have to be very aware and cognizant of how you deal and how you treat people, because when that person finally decides to tell their story, they may not do you that silent and omit. And I'm not even talking about just in print, just telling their stories in general. Because I'll be honest, I've saved a lot of people by choosing to not say certain parts of things that have happened in my life, because I'm trying to protect somebody else, even if they don't need the protection. But when someone tells their story, if you literally play a demon in that person's story, then that's what you play. Now, you may not be that person currently, but we're not talking about us currently. We're talking about us then. So, hey, the mom's just gonna have to deal with it. But we gonna see that come to a head next week. So we get Joy and Irena. We find out that Cliff and Jamie Sr. have known each other for years, but now that Joy is with Cliff, her and Irena have gotten to know each other over this last year. So they talk about Jason's party. Joy felt double teamed by Ashley and Alicia. And she was like, and Cliff also, didn't like that the women were being very dismissive, rolling of the eyes and whatnot. And Joy feels that she's just gonna like let this go because it could just be a one-off. But if it happens again, that means that there's a pattern, and then something is going to have to be done. And Irena says, I feel that you should talk to them about it. Now, it was coming off to me like, go check them. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I do agree that if this didn't make you feel with it, you should at least address it so it's understood, because you don't have to check somebody, but you can address an issue. Because again, if you don't set boundaries and you let somebody do something in their mind, okay, it was cool for me to do it the first time, so I'm gonna do it the second, third time. And oh, you checking me on the third time? Well, I did it 2 times before and you ain't saying nothing, so it's a problem now. That whole type of thing. Y'all get it. So, did I miss anything? Nope. So now we get the pink party. There are people still waiting outside because stuff wasn't ready. I was just like, ooh, that has to suck. But look, I'm a hands-on person. Like I will start making sure that things are like I'm gonna have stuff to where if stuff is done at least an hour early. I'm just saying that's just me. But Irena wore a gutter Barbie jacket, and she says, that both her and Ashley made a lot of money off Gutter Barbie shirts. And I'm like, get your money. But at the same exact time, winner, that was a missed opportunity. You should have made them shirts. But, hey, do what you do, right? Joy arrives, and then, is it Sherelle or Chanel? Sherelle arrives. Out my handwriting's crazy. And you have Ashley trying to introduce them to each other, but it's awkward energy. And Joy lets us know that her and Sherelle's husband were in a band group together, and it crumbled because of selfish decisions that he made, thinking that he was bigger than the band. So Joy doesn't want to pretty much interact or be close to anybody that is even in close proximity to him, which is understandable. It is, though. At the same exact time, I really like. Part of me feels like, you shouldn't make the wife pay for the sins of her husband. But at the same time, I do understand it because things can go crazy, and obviously, Sherelle is always going to defend her husband. So I get it. So Sherelle sees Irena's Gutter Barbie jacket and says, well, I know about, the Gutter Barbies. And then she goes off, Sherelle goes off to talk to Ashley, and Sherelle tells Ashley that the Gutter Barbie thing is now going to become a song, and that her husband is the one writing the song. Ashley feels away because, okay, Gutter Barbie has a negative connotation to it. So your husband is going to write this song for her. So it already has a negative connotation. He's writing it. So in her mind, okay, this is a diss song. So your husband is going to sit here and write a diss song. You have Sherelle saying, no, it's not a diss song, but she hasn't read the lyrics, hasn't heard the song. So you really can't say if it is or if it isn't. But she says her husband would never write a diss track. She also says that Winter wants to kind of make amends and patch things up. Ashley doesn't want to make amends. Ashley shares with the ladies, so now they're amongst the group, shares with them about the song that's being created. And Sherelle says she doesn't know the lyrics, and Ashley feels Sherelle is trying to, cover her fourth point of contact. Arena feels that Sherelle is playing both sides, as do I, because this is one of those where it's real, but she didn't have to say anything, so it does come off as if you're trying to cover yourself. with all of this. And let's be clear, you not gonna sit here and convince me that Sherelle's husband did not come home and tell her, "Oh, I'm working with Winter, and Winter has me writing this song called Gutter Barbers." You can't tell me that she didn't know that. And if she did, she could have been like, "Winter, I want no parts of this. I know what you're doing. I want no parts of it." So again, I can't give Sherelle much. And then Sherelle gets real hype trying to defend herself and cultivating friendships and what this is and what that is, which really lets me know you guilty of something. Because you doing way too much caping right now for you not to be. Anyway, Arena asks if she knows about these receipts, and Sherelle says that she does, and she told her she wanted nothing to do with that. So okay, you can pick and choose what you want no part of, but you want parts of this song. Got it. And Arena says that she will confront Winter. And then we end with Arena and Winter meeting up. Winter is upset that Arena did not reach back out to her because she wasn't trying to be messy. Based on how they ended, I can see why Arena didn't. So Irena says, the first issue was the nicknames. I let that go. Then you go on Carlos's show and then speculate that my husband and I are, cheating on each other. Winter says that was in poor taste. I apologize for that. And my goal wasn't to offend. And honestly, it really did just seem like they were being catty. But you go on Carlos King's, show, he's gonna be messy. That's what the name of the game is. So honestly, I really didn't think of it being too much of that. But again, I'm not married, so Arena probably felt that she was coming for the sanctity of their marriage, so that's why she got upset. Get it? Got it? Good. And Raina says, but you will say one thing and then you either go live or on a podcast and say the opposite. Winter says she doesn't do that and says, she says her piece and then moves on. And then she's like, but then, what the hell? And she's like, but the fact that you're keeping tabs on everything I say is weird because if I did that, I would have a CVS receipt of stuff. And I'm like, it's funny, but it's almost just like, dang, Nabbit Winter. It's like you're not really helping, but there are points where these two are talking over each other still. And then, Winter's like, why not reach out and say something if you felt away? And Arena says, if we were friends, then I would have. But I thought you were being messy. Winter says she wasn't being messy. She's not messy all the time, which means you are messy. And only responds. Arena says, about you sent me a DM about receipts about me and my children. Do you want me to read it? These two are now yet again talking over each other. Winter says someone in her circle is talking. Raina is like, well, we don't have a big circle. Winter is like, it's about your child who is disabled, and that is alarming. Raina is like, why would somebody DM you about somebody's disabled child? Winter's like, I don't know. Winter gestures to give. Oops, I done dropped my phone. Gestures to give her phone to read, and she's like, no, you read it. And then she pretty much said, okay, they're acting like they raised him when he was shipped off to a school and he is only home now because he aged out and then they moved her mother in so they could run the streets. And that's where it goes off. So I mean, we really gonna see what comes to this, and I'm just like, ooh, So Winter gonna have her storyline one way or the other. So we gonna see how this all plays out. I still don't think I'm gonna be on the Jamie Senior, bandwagon, but look, crazy things have happened. Maybe towards the end of the season, I might come around. We shall see. But that's all that I have. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all right back here for Real Housewives of Potomac. And I'm going to go ahead and change the backdrop because for one of the videos I did last week, we were still in the same venue and didn't nobody tell me. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all later. Peace out.